Why did you suddenly change? Why did you stop loving me? Why?
For the first time in years, peace slowly returned to the compound. James and Grace were speaking again, not like husband and wife. Not yet, but like two people trying to find their way back to each other. Neither of them spoke for a while. Then Grace broke the silence and said,
James, there is still one question I need answered.
What is it?
Why?
Why what?
Why did you suddenly change? Why did you stop loving me? Why did you push me away?
The smile disappeared from James's face. Immediately, Grace noticed his eyes became heavy, his hands started trembling. For years he had avoided this conversation, for years he had buried the truth.
But now, there was nowhere left to hide. James stood up slowly.
Grace, there's something I never told you. Grace's heart began beating faster. A few minutes later, they sat inside the guest house.
James opened an old drawer. From inside, he pulled out a worn-out envelope. Grace looked confused.
What is it?
Grace slowly opened the envelope. Inside were hospital documents, medical reports.
Test results. She looked at them carefully, then suddenly her eyes widened. Her hands started shaking.
No.
Yes.
Grace continued reading. Many years ago, James had secretly visited a doctor. The results revealed something heartbreaking. According to the report, James had a medical condition that made it difficult for him to have children.
Grace's entire body froze. The room became silent. Her heart broke. Not because of the condition, but because he had carried the burden alone. James lowered his head.
After receiving those results, I felt like a failure. Tears rolled down his face. I felt ashamed. I felt less like a man. I didn't know how to tell you.
Grace stared at him in disbelief.
Years.
James continued.
Then family members started asking questions.
When are the children coming? Why is your wife not pregnant? Who is responsible? Every question felt like a knife.
I became angry, not at you, but at myself. But instead of facing my pain, I pushed away the person who loved me most.
Grace could barely breathe. Everything suddenly made sense. The distance, the insults, the bitterness, the coldness. Not excuses, but explanations. James covered his face and cried.
I hated myself, Grace. So every time I looked at you, I remembered my own pain. And instead of seeking help, I hurt you.
Grace's tears flowed freely. Years of confusion suddenly had answers. She stood up slowly, walked toward him, and placed her hand on his shoulder.
James looked up, his eyes swollen with tears, and
I don't deserve your forgiveness.
Grace shook her head. Then she said something that left him speechless.
James, when we got married, I married a man. Not a child, not a medical report, not test results. I married you.
James broke down, completely. For years he had feared this moment. For years he believed she would blame him, reject him, despise him. Instead, she was comforting him. Grace wiped his tears. Then she smiled through her own tears.
You should have trusted me. We were supposed to carry the burden together.
I know.
For a long moment, they sat together.
I thought I'd lost you forever. I'm so sorry I never met you.
I know. I forgive you.
The walls between them were finally coming down.
Later that night, James looked at Grace. For the first time in years, truly looked at her. Not at her clothes, at her heart. And he realized some strangest person in the house had always been Grace.
As they sat together under the stars, Grace rested her head on his shoulder. James gently held her hand. Neither said a word. Some healing doesn't begin with grand speeches, sometimes with truths. And for the first time in years, the truth had finally set them free.
A miracle changes everything. Just when James and Grace begin rebuilding their marriage, unexpected news arrives that leaves the entire family in tears of joy.
Grace, we're having a baby.
A miracle, James.
I love you.